Go ahead and put your hands together for David Mullins! Woo!
My whole life, people have been telling me that there is something wrong with me. Kids, old people, the church, the law, even some of you here tonight have said that to me. I never paid it any mind, man. I thought you guys were all full of shit. Then, something happened that made me really think. See, years ago, we were doing a show, me and a bunch of comics, and everyone was going up and doing their bits, and they were pretty funny, but some of these people were saying some really fucked up, outlandish shit. And I was like, I feel pretty good about myself. I was like, I'm doing all right. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. So I go up and I do my set, and I come back down, and this guy makes a beeline straight for me. Now, this guy had been talking about how his mom used to sell sex toys out of their apartment. Like drawers weren't, you shouldn't open that, or doors were this, a paper towel dispenser wasn't what you thought it was. One guy was making jokes about when he was a kid, he was forced to suck dick. Hey, it was his story, man, don't get mad at me. You know, he used some mouthwash and walked it off like a man. Made a joke about it. Anyway, when I go up and I say my set, I come out, and this guy makes a beeline for me. And he's like, Dave, there is something wrong with you. I was like, what? The worst part is everyone agreed. All the other comics, the audience, even the guy who was forced to suck dick said I had problems. I thought to myself, when this collection of citizens tells you that there's something wrong with you, you need to do some introspection. Well, where do you start? You start at the beginning. And in the beginning, a man and woman met. They probably shouldn't have, but they did. Now, the woman was this conservative, Catholic, middle-class, 09er chick. And the guy was a hard-drinking, fucked-up Vietnam vet. And throughout the night of talking, she started thinking to herself, I can save this guy. And the guy started thinking to himself, I'm gonna dirty this bitch up. So they got married, and he did. And they had a kid. And they realized rather early that that kid fucking sucked. So they had another. And that's where I come in. First day they brought me home from the hospital, they're like, hey, here's your little brother. And he says, oh no, take him back. Those were his first words ever. I was like, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe this welcoming I got. I remember like flicking them off with my little baby fingers. You know how they do that? They know what they're doing. You're like, oh, it's so cute. Nah. So this war went on forever. You know, day one, that's how it started. Him, you know, trying to attack me or kill me or take me out. Well, there's this one time when I was like 4 years old. We're in the backyard. And I'm sitting on this metal swing set. You know the one from back in the day that came jagged, rusted edges out of the box, pre-oxidized with tetanus included. Well, I'm sitting on this slide, and I'm watching him throw this stick. And he's throwing these sticks at this target. And he's getting closer and closer. And I'm watching. And he's getting closer, and finally he says, hey man, just turn around and watch me. Just watch me hit it. I go, no. He said, why not? I said, you're going to hit me with the stick. He said, no, I'm not. And finally, after going back and forth, he convinced me to turn my back on him. And the reason he was able to he was able to convince me to turn my back on him is because I was 4 years old. So right when I turned, all of a sudden, ah! I'm bleeding from my head. I'm in pain. I jump off the slide with all the jagged edges, run inside crying. I got in trouble for bringing blood into the house. That is what's wrong with me, all right? Later on, I'm doing a school project, like in the 3rd or 4th grade, and the subject is the city of Philadelphia. And we didn't have personal computers back then or cell phones, no. What I had was my mom helping, and the way mom helped with homework was through physical and psychological violence. I think it's the Montessori school of teaching, if I remember correctly. Anyway, while she's helping me with my project on Philadelphia, going, like back then we didn't have computers, we didn't have virtual libraries. You had to go to an actual library with a Dewey Decimal System. I never found one book that way. Fuck Dewey and his decimal system, man. But while I was sitting there, the one resource we did have was our encyclopedia set. The problem was that our encyclopedia was the first encyclopedia. You looked up Philadelphia, it said, coming next year. So while I'm sitting there going through these questions, crying and bleeding, that son of a bitch who's been trying to take me out the whole time is watching it like a fucking show. He's got popcorn and his drink with that ridiculous straw, lapping it up. And it comes down to the last question. What is the motto of the city of Philadelphia? I don't know. Mom doesn't know. But he knew, and he let it slip that he knew. And right then, Mom stopped helping me to go help him. And she turned to him all pissed off, and with her best Sam Kinison impersonation goes, "Say it! Say it! What is the motto of the city of Philadelphia?" Brotherly love. Fucking disgusting. And this shit kept on going on. I grew up a little bit. I start playing football. And my first year, I am the smallest guy in the league. So what do you do with the smallest guy in the league? That's right, you put him on the defensive line to play against the biggest guys in the league. That's called coaching. It's called coaching. All right? And it was the first game. And I'm sent in, and I'm going against, like, the biggest guy in the league. And the reason I know that is because he walked up with his big feet. And I looked there, and I was like, oh, no. So I looked up, and up, and up, and up, and up. And there he was, this big black guy named Dwayne. And he pointed down at me and said, "I got him." The deepest voice I ever heard. I remember looking up and saying, "What's with all the prison talk, man? It's supposed to be a friendly game." Well, it wasn't friendly, and I know that because when he hiked the ball, he hit me. And the reason I say that is because I went that way when I was supposed to be going that way. Now, I tell you that story to tell you this other story. When I was older in high school, we're doing two-a-days to find out who's going to be on varsity. For those who don't know what two-a-days are, it's where you practice twice a day. It's football, not rocket science, I mean. Right? And we're running all these drills and we're hitting the shit out of each other, and they said, "Dave, go play running back." That's coaching. Because I can't run, I'm slow. So I'm back there playing running back, and then I look across to see who I'm going against. And it's the returning defensive line. And who's playing end? That's right, fucking Dwayne. And if I got bigger and stronger, so did he. So now we're scrimmaging, and they hand me the ball, and it's the last play of the scrimmage, and I run around the corner, and the offensive lineman went to go get a water break because he wasn't there. But Dwayne was there, and right when we hit, he slipped a little. And I remember thinking to myself, I've never felt that in my toes before. That hurts. And right before I fell down, another linebacker came and planted me into the ground. So after I peel myself up, I go on with practice. And then I go home, and I'm taking a bath, and I'm just soaking in the water. You know, water's barely above my face, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I have to go back. And finally, I was like, all right, it's time to get up. So I got up out of the tub, and I'm drying off, and I look in the mirror, and there's all this stuff on me. And I'm like, what is this, dirt? I was like, they hit me so hard that like dirt is in my skin? And then I looked up, and all this shit was pouring out of my ears. And I remember thinking, oh my God, they did it. They beat my brains out. I later found out it was a weird earwax situation, but let me tell you something. I was really scared there for a while, man. So what's wrong with me? Nothing. But I did play high school football. During that time, you get your friends, you know, the guys you're going to be friends with forever, or so you think. Anyway, because some of them are not here tonight, I can tell you that. Apparently this brotherhood's a one-way street situation. Anyway, so you have your friends, right? And part of your friendship is always making sure your brothers get home. These are a few of those stories. First story is about a good friend of mine, John. Good friend, brother. Now to understand John, back in the day he was a nomad, okay? He didn't have a house. He had a bunch of homes but no house, right? It was one-story grandma, two-story grandma, mom's house, dad's house, girlfriend's house, crack house. It just kept on going, right? You couldn't get a hold of him because we didn't have cell phones back then. You couldn't call his house because you didn't know where he was at. What are you going to do, call the whole fucking West Side? Have some weird-ass conversations with his parents or siblings? You remember how it was back in the day. So the way we got a hold of John was through his pager. And back then, it had voicemail. We were in the future back then. Man. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so one night we're going to this party. And we go to the party, and by the time we get there, me and my buddy Greg, who picked me up, John is already fucked up. He's passed out. He got into a fight with his girlfriend, and that was it. No more. He was passed out. All right, John, well, we're going to have a few drinks for you while you're there, man. Lay there. So we enjoy the party and have it, you know, and vibe and all that, but now it's time to go home. And John can't walk. He wants to drive. As he's telling us that, as he's trying to crawl to the car that he's going to drive, and we're like, everything's going to be fine, John, sure. So finally we come to the conclusion that I will drive John's truck home, with John in it, of course. I didn't just steal his car, man. And we're going to follow Greg back to two-story grandma's, because that's where John is staying. The trek there is a whole different story I'm not going to get into right now. That was more fucked up. Anyway, we finally get to two-story grandma's, and we're walking up. You know how drunk people try to be quiet? It's ridiculous. Shh! Don't be loud! You're fucking with the keys, and you can't get it in there. You're thinking you're being cool. I got into a fight with the rose bush. Finally, we get inside, thinking we got away with it somehow, but we didn't. Two-story grandma comes running out of her room, pissed off, and rightfully so, yapping at John in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. It would have behooved me to learn Spanish. Until recently, I thought Pincho Wedo meant Dave in Spanish. I just thought everyone knew my name, man. I thought I was like Norm from Cheers. Anyway, two-story grandma's yelling at John for being all fucked up, and he tries to explain to this woman who's 100 years old that the reason he's all fucked up is because of bad fish. Bad pescado, he keeps on telling her. She's 100. You don't think she's ever seen a drunk Mexican before? She's sleeping next to one right now, man. Right then, two-story grandpa comes out. I thought we were going to get in trouble. He's as bleary-eyed as I am. He just goes, I was like, yeah. So I go talk to two-story grandpa. My two-story grandma's yelling at John, and John's sticking to his story. The just horrible fish buffet that we went to. He's thinking that's going to work, right? And she's yammering on, yelling at him, and I thought I heard my name, Pincho Wedo. I was like, hey, two-story grandma knows my name, man. His name's not Dave. Nah, his name's Greg over there. Anyway, so eventually, two-story grandma's had enough of this. She's not buying it. She goes back in the room, takes two-story grandpa with him as he walks off. Now, John has to take a piss, but he also wants to find out if his girlfriend has called his voicemail and apologized, because that's what women are known for, is apologizing. I hear that all the time, how women are just out there apologizing to people. So John is trying to take a piss, and he sends Greg in to the kitchen to use the phone, because that's where it belongs. On the wall, connected to some long-ass cord that can wrap around the house 4 times. Phone. So Greg's in there trying to call John's pager to find out if there was a voicemail, but the code John gave us was wrong. So I go back and open the door. John's now sitting on the toilet because shit happens, man. And that's the place to do it. So now he's sitting there and I'm getting the code from him. I'm like, okay. So now I go back and I tell Greg types it in, listens, no, it didn't work. I'm like, oh, all right. So I'll go back to the restroom and I try to open the door and nothing's happening. Finally, I get it open and there's John laying on his back, pants around his ankles, for the whole world to see. And I look down at John and I say, John, bad fish does not explain this. So we left. We got him home, man. That's part of friendship right there. We did our job. Another such story of getting your friends home is a story about my friend Steve, my good friend, my brother, Steve. I'm not going to tell you Steve's last name because, well, he's not a pillar of the community, but he's like a sturdy post, whereas I am a ditch, right? So before he was a sturdy post in the community, he comes by my apartment. We're living in Austin with some friends of ours, and it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, I don't know, and he's got a new truck and a bottle. So we start doing a little day drinking, doing a little talking, everything's fine, doing some laughing, and finally he says, Dave, I have to go. All right, buddy, well, you take care. So he leaves, and other people show up. I keep drinking. Then I take a nap, or pass out, whatever you want to call it. And finally, one of my roommates comes in and wakes me up and says, hey, man, Steve got arrested. I go, for what? Traffic ticket. Well, that's fucked up. He's got a new truck and everything, man. So I go, so what now? And he's like, we have to go bail him out. I was like, we go right now? And he's like, no. He's going to call back. Oh, he's going to call back. What are you waking me up for, man? So I start drinking a little bit, and then all of a sudden we get a phone call. We have to go bail out Steve. So we go down there at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, something like that. I'm a little drunk. We walk up. I'm almost like I'm turning myself in at this point. So we go into the jail, right? And I walk up to the desk, and the officer walks in. Now, I don't know, like, the best way to describe what she looked like, if you've ever seen Jada Pinkett Smith in the movie Low Down Shame, she's Peaches. That's Officer Peaches is who walked in. All right? Same fucking attitude, too. Plus, who wants to deal with me when I'm drunk, right? So I go up there to Officer Peaches, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for my buddy Steve. Steve Spick. Let's just call him Steve Spick. So I'm here to pick up Steve Spick. She goes, I'm sorry, he's not here. He's not here. Well, this guy's not playing a joke on me. If Ashton Kutcher pops out of a fucking wall, I'm going to kick the shit out of him. He's here. She goes through it. He's not here. All right, well, he got arrested. Where'd he be anywhere else? What did he get arrested for? Traffic violation. Fine. He's here. Steve Spick. She goes through it, and she's pissed off. She goes, sir, the only Spick we have here is Esteban. Well, you think maybe that's him? The one Spick you got is named Esteban? Yeah. Bring him out. He's not ready to be. Ah, shit. I'm sorry to let you know that I never saw my good friend, my brother Steve, ever again. As far as I know, he's walking around the Austin jail. You will be happy to hear that Esteban got bailed out later on that night and is living a kick-ass life as a sturdy post of the community. Can't be telling all these stories about my friends without bringing me into this, right? So this is a story about the first time I got arrested, all right? It was St. Patrick's Day. No story goes good when it starts with, it was St. Patrick's Day. That's like starting with, it was Cinco de Mayo. No story starts off good that way. So it's St. Patrick's Day, and I've been downtown partying and drinking, and I'm driving home now. We're going to meet up some friends. And I'm in my old man's 71 Malibu convertible. And as we're driving up, as I'm driving away, it starts to rain. And I think, okay, I'm just going to pull over to the curb, put the top up, and everything's going to be fine. Well, I pulled over, put the top up, and I realized I'm a little drunk. I'm just going to take a nap here. No big deal. I'm parked on the curb. I wasn't parked on the curb. Those cops found that car right in the middle of the street. They told me so when they woke me up. So they take me, they arrest me, they rouse me first, and then they arrest me, and as we're driving, I'm like fucked up. And then we pull into this parking lot, and when they get me out of the car, I look up, and it's like a church. There's like a cross and a steeple and everything. I was like, you guys are taking me to church? Who the hell sent you, my mom? What the hell is this? I was like, hey, fellas, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. I'm not a lawyer. But, something. Apparently, there was this church that they just turned into a cop station, like right there on 410. Apparently, I'm the only one who's been taken there. I thought I was going to get my ass kicked out of church in Castle Hills or whatever the hell it was. So finally, they come and they get me, and they're taking me downtown. And I'm a little bit more awake now. And I start talking to them about the Big Lebowski. And I'm like, hey guys, you ever seen the Big Lebowski? They're like, no. I was like, well, there's this scene where this guy's in the back of a police car, and I start describing the Big Lebowski to him, and then I start singing Branded, a song I don't know, in the back of a police car on my way to jail, right? So we get in there, and they just kind of leave me in line. I'm like, all right. Finally, I think, well, I'm just going to leave, right? It wasn't my idea to come here in the first place. So as I'm walking out the door, thinking I'm just going to leave, the cops decided that wasn't going to happen. Long story short, a fight broke out, scuffling. Listen, if I can offer any advice, don't ever get into a fight with the cops. They hate that shit. And there's more of them than you, okay? And don't do it in their house. They really hate that shit when you do it in their house. So after I'm fighting with all these cops and they get me down and one of them has their knee on my neck and I'm about to nod out, I swear to God, one of them was kicking me in the side going, "This is for Peaches!" I'm like, fuck Peaches, man. So I wake up cuffed in like what I can only describe as a cement vertical coffin. So I'm cuffed and I wake up and I'm yelling at the cops and I'm awake. And finally, they take me out of the solitary and put me in with everyone else in the drunk tank. For those of you who don't know what it's like to be there, it's like 4 clear cells, all right, that they just house people in. And then they just move you down the way until it's time for you to leave. Well, I've been there so long that they threw me in the last cell, right? And I look down the row, as we like to call it, all the other, and it's me, one black guy way down there, and the rest of the fellows were Mexican. And I was like, man, everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, man. Let my people go! What the fuck? So finally, they let me out of jail, prison. They let me out of jail, and there's a little phone over there. And I go, and I call my house looking for a ride. I'm like, hello? Another line, hello? John? Yeah. Of course you're at my house. Come pick me up, dude. I was gone one night, the guy moved in. I'm going to change here for a little bit. I'm going to tell you a different story about famous people. Everyone loves stories about famous people, man. It's called The Athlete and the Actress. Now, being born and raised here, I'm a big Spurs fan, right? Everyone's a Spurs fan, right? I was a Spurs fan before they were, like, before Robinson, like when they really sucked. That's how long I go back, man. In fact, when we got I'm such a Spurs fan, I absolutely did not write and record a rap song about David Robinson and Sean Elliott. I absolutely did not do that. And there's no proof that I did that because I destroyed that shit a long time ago. All right? So big Spurs fan. And there was this guy playing in Houston who always fucked us over. I hate that guy. I've always hated that guy. Every time we played Houston, he screwed us. I hate that guy. One day a friend comes and says, hey man, he's no longer with the Rockets. Oh yeah, where'd he go? The Lakers. Man, I hate the fucking Lakers. And sure enough, when we played that guy, that team, the Lakers, that guy would always fuck us. I hate that guy. I fucking hate him. Then one day someone walks up to me and says, hey man, guess who the Spurs signed? And I was like, I don't care, man. I don't care they signed him. Fuck him. I'll never cheer for that guy. Never. The second Robert Horry got on the court in a Spurs uniform, I was like, Robert Horry! I was like wearing his pink jersey like a little bitch. Robert Horry! Now, around the same time that we got big shot Bob there, I was working at this PR firm here in town, public relations firm, which is kind of ironic considering they never allowed me to relate to the public. I wasn't even allowed to tell people I worked there and shit. So it makes sense at a certain point, I guess, right? So I'm working there at this PR firm, and the boss lady walks in, the HBIC, man, the head bitch in charge. And she's telling us about this new client that we got. And she's starting, this actress, and she's starting, it's Eva Longoria, right? And Eva Longoria is starting this charity called Eva's Heroes. It's about, we don't use these terms in my family, like it was for special needs kids, right? And so this kind of means something to me because there's a lot of people in my life, a lot of family and friends who are challenged or whatever. We don't use that. We use what the state stamped on their file. Crazy retard. Sometimes they were double stamped. Crazy retard. So I'm hearing about Eva Longoria, and they're going to put on this big show or whatever event that I'm going to be working, right? And she comes in and she's telling us about this event, and I'm like, all right. She's like, first we're going to give Robert O'Ray an award for like humanitarian efforts. I don't know what his work is with. Oh, I guess the kids, the retarded kids. Anyway, so we're working on that, and she's telling us about the event. And she's going to be like, yeah, there's going to be an auction, and then there's going to be this, and Robert Ory's going to get his award, and then there's going to be a runway show. And I kind of perked up there a little bit, as maybe hungover as I may have been. And I hear Eva Longoria and runway show. So I'm thinking like a bunch of hot bitches are going to be walking down a runway, right? That's how I'm thinking, with my dick. And I go, hey, you can't, I was like, and I was explaining how much I like to see these chicks, and he's like, and my boss is like, what the hell are you talking about, you fucking idiot? It's gonna be the kids. What kids? What fucking kids are you talking about? She goes, the special need kids. I was like, the fucking retards? I go, hey man, half my family's crazy and retarded. I know what the fuck is going on. They're gonna fall off the runway. She's like, no, they're not, you fucking asshole. Get back to work. Robert Ory's not going to give himself a gift or whatever, a trophy. Fine. So the day of the show or whatever, the day of the event comes up, right? It's a Saturday morning. Like at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. And it's not like I don't go out Friday and drink. So I may have showed up a little late and a little drunk, depending on how you want to look at it. So we get there, and we're giving like Robert Ory the award that he got or whatever, and right then, Eva Longoria walks right by me, all right? Very beautiful woman, not a very tall woman. Like she's this tall in 96-inch heels. That's not fair, man. She's like this tall in 96-inch heels, man. She'd be the easiest person to kidnap. Put her in your pocket. Hey, is that Eva Longoria in your pocket? No, man, I'm just really happy to see you. Anyway, so we do all this, and the event's happening, and we sit at our table. Now, the table where I'm at is in the corner. I got the best view in the house because it's straight behind the podium. And the person who's going to be running the event is Eva Longoria. So I'm just going to be staring at Eva Longoria during this time. I'm like, okay, no problem with me. She doesn't know that we have this relationship, by the way. Just want you, that's what I'm calling it, a relationship. Me staring at her from afar. Anyway, so we're sitting there eating, and they're getting ready, and her sister is the first one up because her sister is a hero, right? She's the whole reason why this thing is happening is because of her sister having developmental problems or whatever. So her sister is the first one to walk out there. And she's dressed to the nines, man. She's looking good. Got her heels on, everything. She's the first one. And she's walking, and then it starts. And she's walking, and then she just falls off the goddamn runway. And my boss was sitting right there, and I looked over, and I was like, I don't remember her saying anything, but she had a look in her face of, shut your fucking mouth. Don't look at me, don't say shit. And right then, I noticed something on Eva Longoria that it was a very human moment because she made the same two faces we all make who have fucked up family members. The first face is one of concern, right? Like, oh, you okay? She okay? You're good? Okay. And that face turns to, are you fucking kidding me? We're trying to do something, you fall off the fucking runway? Just like middle school, god damn it. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Through some of these stories, that I probably haven't told as well as I could have because of the Swiss cheesing of the drinking. I used to do a lot of drinking back in the day, all right? I don't do as much anymore because my liver is a big old pussy, just a big bitch. I mean, what kind of liver cries, you know? Apparently, if you drink all day, every day for 25 years straight, health problems. Anyway, so I kind of had to stop drinking, you know? And it's true what they say. When you stop drinking, the haze lifts, right? And you're clear-headed, clear-eyed. And when the haze lifted on me, I was left with Trump, trannies, and wokeness. That's when everyone else started drinking. I don't care how you feel about Trump, like him, hate him, whatever. That motherfucker lied about the weather. What kind of sick fuck lies about the weather? That's when you know somebody's right. You lie about anything else. Lie about everything else, but not the fucking weather. If somebody walked up to you and told you a bold-faced lie about the weather, you wouldn't sit there and be like, that's presidential material right there. I'm voting for that guy. No, you'd be like, somebody call somebody. This guy's going around lying about the weather. This is fucked up. Speaking of trannies, I mean, if there's not a 15-year-old mean girl in that guy, I don't know what is, right? But I think everyone should have a little fucking compassion, man, you know? I mean, first of all, it's okay to feel weird about the transgender, tranny situation or whatever, because, you know, the first ones to know shit was weird were the trannies. They're like, something's fucking weird, man, I'm in the wrong body, right? When have you ever seen a new father holding his infant son being like, I can't wait till my son grows up to be a beautiful woman? That shit doesn't happen. It's never happened. It never will happen. It's just some fucked up shit that happens in the womb, right? I mean, it could have happened to you. Worse than that, it could have happened to me. What a fucking nightmare, man. What I'm born and I'm a little girl? What? And then what, I'm like 4 or 5? You're goddamn right I'm a princess. Who the fuck said I wasn't a princess? I'll take you out back and kick the shit out of you right now. Tell me I'm not a princess. Then what? Like 11, 12, something like that? Oh, what? Oh, fuck! I'm bleeding betwixt my legs. Great. Now I get to have a conversation with my mom about how I'm becoming a woman. And then what? Bob, eyes up here, Bob. So look at my tits, eyes up here, Bob. No, Joe, we're not gonna fuck. No way, Jose. Stop staring at my ass. We're just on an elevator. What a fight. Why have you forsaken me? This is why every time I see some guy or somebody who was born in a female's body trying to live their best guy life, you know, with that fucked up patchy hair or whatever, I just want to go up and, you know, give him a hug. Be like, I'm sorry this happened to you, man. Look on the bright side of things. It didn't happen to me, right? I five it up, right? That's why when you hear people, like being a guy is fucking awesome. I don't know if you've been able to discern that from what I've been talking about here. But that's why, like, when you hear somebody who is a guy, born in a guy's body, saying that they're, you should believe them because those bitches mean it. Who would claim to be that wasn't, right? Hey, good luck with the pay cut, man. Get the fuck on. Just good luck. Good luck with all that. Wokeness, I don't believe, is a real thing. I just don't think it is, man. I mean, at first I thought it was something DeSantis made up so he can kill something in Florida. But think about it, man. There's no governing body of wokeness. I don't remember any vote being put out there. There's no one where we can air our grievances to, you've gone too far. The internet got mad. Fuck the internet, man. Call the internet up and tell it to cut that shit out. The one thing you can't find on the internet is a phone number to the internet. And if you did, it'd probably be some asshole AI on the other side with like Elon Musk's voice or some shit. Think about it, man. I've never met a woke person before. I mean, I'd be inclined to knock them the fuck out. Think about it. If somebody walked up to you and was like, I'm woke. Well, in the words of Jerry Glanville, not for long. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, about woke. I haven't seen him in a long time. Good friend, brother of mine. And we were talking about it, and we were like, yeah, it probably started off as a good thing, right? Lasted 20 minutes, internet got a hold of it. And I was like, yeah, all it really is political correctness on steroids. You know? I was like, think about it. What is the first thing you've ever, like, what was the first politically correct thing you ever heard? Like African American, right? Walking up to some guy, where are you born? Houston. You're an American, man. Were you straight out of Compton, Nigeria? What are you talking about? You're an American. An American is an American is an American. And my friend was thinking, and he says, you know, Dave, I never thought of it that way. I never thought, he's like, I always call myself a Mexican American. Like, he can't wait to check that fucking box. Draw some pipe eagle in there and like La Raza. Anyway, he couldn't, he was telling me, like, man, I never thought of it that way. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you know, where were you born? And he said, here. I said, do they speak English in here? And he said, depends on which grandma's house you're at. And I was like, God damn, man. I mean, you're in the Air Force. What are you, in the Mexican-American Air Force? What are you trying to tell me? You're a fucking mechanic? Mexican-American, what are you going to do? You're going to go to night school, take Spanish, and get a B? Here are your fucking flowers, you Mexican-American. I like Chong Sung better anyway, you fucking beaner. So we had a good laugh about that, you know. You know, another thing that has really been really big in the news and people talking about it on TV and all that kind of shit. Sorry. Is mental health, right? Everyone's talking about mental health this and mental health that. You know who suffers from mental health issues? The people around the people with mental health issues. I know this. I told you a while back that I had some friends and family who were fucked up, right? Who were Texas State certified. One of these people is that son of a bitch who's been trying to kill me since day one. Man, that guy's an asshole when he's on his meds. Think about when he's not. One time, this guy is off his meds because his doctor was on vacation for 3 months and the pharmacy ran out. The pharmacy ran out. What the fuck? So this guy is disappeared, right? I can't find him anywhere, which normally I wouldn't give a shit about, but we have a concert to go to. We got a Tom Petty concert to go to in a couple days, man. I got to find this guy. So finally, after like 2 days of looking for him, I you know, dealing with this, like when you're tracking a crazy person, you find yourself in weird places, right? Just fucked up neighborhoods. This guy was leaving like clues everywhere. You're asking around, you're talking to people. Everyone's trying to sell you drugs. So you buy the drugs and you go about your way looking for this guy. And then finally, I find him, right? And I'm able to get him into some place that he needs to be, a facility, a hospital or whatever. And he looks at me and he says, I say, okay, man, you're here, so, you know, I'm leaving. It's time for me to go. He's like, where are you going? It's like, what do you mean where I'm going? I'm going to a fucking Tom Petty concert. We have tickets. He's like, you're just gonna leave me here with all these fucking violent psychotic individuals? You're gonna leave me here with these fucking security guards and these cops and these sadistic doctors? You're just gonna leave me here? I looked at him square in the eye and I said, hey, call it brotherly love. Hey, thanks for coming out tonight, guys.